Okay fam, you know I made more than a few videos about the latest new exotic rifle that released called Dr. Home, and I'd say about 90% of the Division 2 community has already blacklisted this weapon, and it's currently in your stash and you don't even care to attain it if you don't have it. Well, my initial feelings about the gun are indifferent. I can admit when I'm wrong, although I was never fully against the Dr. Home. But let me not waste any more time and tell you what I've discovered. Well, not me actually, but an awesome subscriber who discovered it. He left a comment on my last post, and the first thing that he said was, "I've cracked the code on how the healing for Doc Home works." And the reason I think not many have found this out is because people just assume it's trash based on what everybody's saying, and so people don't think it's even worth testing extensively like we normally do with other exotics and gear. And honestly, the weapon is a bit deceptive by nature, so you can easily toss it aside when thinking about it, because the talent states that it provides 15% armor repair, but when you pick up an armor kit, no matter what armor you have, you can't see any difference based on the 15% when you're healed from it. Well, as Sting says here in this very detailed comment, you can pause and read it if you like, but I'll summarize what he says. And this is the reason why it's deceptive, because it does matter how much armor you have. In fact, it's a pure support weapon and requires you to go out and get those armor kits. When you pick it up, your teammates will notice the insane amount of armor they gain once you do it. And from my understanding, you don't have to kill the enemy that's marked. Anyone can, so you don't have to worry about damage when you're running upwards of 2 million armor builds with no DPS. But don't worry fam, I got just the build for you, and it turns out that I already have a variation of it in one of my loadouts, because this type of playstyle requires the gear needed to tank almost anything. And when it comes to being tanky, you can't go without protection from elites. So I'm going to sample this from the build I made called Invincible, but instead of using the deflector shield, I'll use a Crusader. My chest piece I changed to Hunter Killer, the named Golan with perfect intimidate, so that while I'm running out there on the battlefield to get those armor kits, I get bonus armor if I ever get near the NPCs. My backpack was switched to Memento for more if everything I need when I build my trophies up, so I'll be even more efficient in whatever my build is catered to. And finally, the improvised gear was changed to an armor core, the ones that weren't, so that I can maintain a protection from elites mods that you can only get with this gear on these specific slots. With this method, I was able to get 1.8 to 2 million armor. I say that because it will be the highest it can be once the few pieces of improvised gear gets optimized. And I'm sure many of you have a lot of this already maxed out. But here I offer you a template with an explanation on how to really use the Dr. Home exotic rifle. Yes, maybe the weapon should be an SMG or shotgun. And no, it should not have a scope that forces you to zoom in because of the nature of the talent. But I'm glad to have finally have an understanding of how it works. And if you like support builds, then you'll love this. If you want, you could make the ongoing director version of this so that you can offer your team hollow point ammo as well, but you just won't be able to tank as much without the 70% protection from elites. And I almost forgot to tell you that I am using the chill out mask when speaking of protection from elites mods for the extra slots, which always helps. Plus, Healer Guard for his one piece gives you 5% total armor, which will help you get to that armor threshold. Oh yeah, and this is a good one. You're no longer forced to use Technician Specialization for its Artificer Hive. You can use Survivalist to gain that extra protection from elites that it gives you on the skill tree for just having the specialization on. Plus, Survivalist is a great support for the team. You know, they got the armor kits that spread to your teams when you use it. You know, it's just a great specialization for that. And that's it, y'all. I think this is a good way to run the Dr. Home. Share your thoughts below and tell me, do you believe that after all of this, it still needs to be reworked? I'm curious to know your perspective. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in my next video. Be right out.